the harvest. Libra is the scales, sitting at the point of justice for the year, where the sun is to be judged every year, between 10 days, 12 hours of night and 12 hours of day. When the sun goes below that line, you've got longer nights and shorter days. Bad. When the sun crosses this point, you've got longer days and shorter nights. Good. Everybody likes that. Why? Well, I mean, there are people around who love winter more than summer. Sure, I'm not talking about that, but they love the food that keeps them alive from the summer. And this basically doesn't give you no food. So physically and spiritually, as you will see, this is the glorious. This corresponds with the 7 candelabra of the Jews. These are the 7 candelabra of the Jews. This date here is the start of the Jewish sacred year. This date here is the start of the Jewish secular year. They just celebrated New Year's Day a couple of weeks ago, when the sun passed the equator on the 21st of September. Funny, isn't that? Okay? This has always been considered to be the start of the year. Aries, that blossom of Aries. When the sun gets judged, when it gets judged here and it goes down into Libra, the scales, no mercy. Scorpio is waiting, the red dragon. There is a red star in Scorpio. Like I said, Sirius was red. There's a red star in Scorpio called Antares. And there's one of 4 stars in the sky. That fella there, that's November in the Northern Hemisphere. And people know, when they see that sign, actually we just entered Scorpio yesterday. Okay? In the Southern Hemisphere, we're looking forward to the summer. But over there, I'm speaking to people on Skype in America, and they reckon it's starting to freeze. No mercy for the sun. He is the backbiter. And as you will see later, that's Judas Iscariot, who bites the sun as he's betrayed and brings him down to his death. We'll get into that later, but mythology, nursery rhymes, all of that will be explained, okay? Sagittarius, the guy with the arrow, that's Sagittarius. That's the horseman. And he's waiting there every year. The last day of Sagittarius is the 21st of December, the day that the sun dies. He also inflicts punishment on the sun. There's no mercy. There's no mercy here. From here to here, there's no mercy. Next in line is the goat. So we see no mercy. He also pierces the heel of the sun. This is where Achilles gets his heel, gets it in the heel. This is where all the heroes die, because the hero is the sun. He always dies here, and he always dies with an arrow to the heel, because this represents the heel, because heel is also the same word, comes from the word hell, which comes from Helios, the sun. The sun, the heel. This is where Genesis, it says, he will bite you, he will bruise you you will bruise him in the head, he will bruise you in the heel. The sun gets bruised on the 21st of December. Every year it gets a hell of a bruising. Capricorn is the goat. Goats like to climb. And that goat has to climb from here. There's Capricorn. I've put it over here. It's got to climb up. The crab goes down. The goat climbs the mountain. Aquarius is the wet month. That's January. Aquarius is pouring water down onto the earth. That is wet in the Northern Hemisphere. The fish, that indicates the fishing season in the north. Now, if you feel that I'm slightly exaggerating this topic, I want to just show you 3 examples of this story in the sky. Here we have a guy called Volney, who wrote at the time of Napoleon Bonaparte. He was the astronomer to Napoleon Bonaparte. And he says, so thus the Ethiopian of Thebes named stars of inundation, or Aquarius, stars of inundation. The stars of the ox or the bull, those under which they began to plough. Stars of the lion, those under which that animal driven from the desert by thirst separated on the banks of the Nile. Stars of the sheath, or of the harvest virgin. Remember I said that's the harvest and the virgins go out to collect the harvest. Virgo. Let me give you another example. I like this example. That's one, that's Volney. I could read on, I mean there's some beautiful stuff there. He named the stars of the wild goat or Capricorn, those where the sun, having reached the highest point in its annuary tract, imitates the goat who delights to climb to the summit of the rocks. Remember I said Capricorn likes to climb to the summit of the rocks. Alright, here we go. The constellations of the Lamb and the Bull. Always start with the Lamb. This is John Jackson. He wrote in the year 1938. The constellations of the Lamb, the Bull and the Twins were the star groups through which the sun passed in the spring, in which time of the year occurred the season of sheep raising, ploughing and goat breeding. The twins were originally the two kids, since the young of the goats are frequently born two at a time. The crab was so called because the sun reached its most northern point in that constellation and then returned toward the south, figuratively moving backward like a crab. The lion is the star group through which the sun moved in July, when its heat was most powerful, being compared with the most ferocious of the beasts. I've already intimated those things, haven't I, right? So, why am I reading this? Well, I'm just giving you examples so that you realise that this stuff is ingrained in our culture. I am just digging out some science that most people are not aware of and making you realise, causing you to realise how it really all works.